There was an odd delay in the game between the Dallas Mavericks and the Philadelphia 76ers this past weekend, which saw a problem with one of the baskets in the American Airlines Center. We also saw a huge snub for one of the league's best talents, Jarrett Allen, who missed out on his first All-Star selection. Today, we're discussing both of these stories. First up, what happened in the Mavs-Sixers game? Let's see. In what was a bizarre sight during the Dallas Mavericks win over the Philadelphia 76ers this past weekend, the game was delayed by 12 minutes as officials scrambled to find a solution to a basket problem. The basket in question had malfunctioned and was spotted by Luka Doncic, who noticed it was sitting at an odd angle. The rim was tilted to the right, which obviously meant it had to be fixed before play could continue. Serbian center Boban Marjanovic attempted to save the day by shaking the basket to see if he could knock it back into place. But it was obvious a new basket was what was needed. Cue a mad scramble by staff in the American Airlines Center, Dallas, to erect a new basket as quickly as possible. Thankfully, league rules require this equipment to be readily available to keep pauses to a minimum in the event of an emergency. But in what turned out to be a wacky races-esque turn of events, the replacement basket was too high, which meant further delays while staff brought it down to its regulation height of 10 feet. Both teams were then allowed a short warm-up period before the game resumed, with the Mavericks running out 107-98 winners after a fine performance by starman Luka Doncic, who nailed 33 points, 13 rebounds, and 14 assists. Some excellent numbers there from the Slovenian. What's the craziest thing you've seen at a professional sports game? Let us know below. And what about Jarrett Allen's snub? Stay tuned to hear all about it. So as we know, Cavs center Jarrett Allen recently missed out on his first appearance in an All-Star game and can probably feel rightfully hard done by. He shouldn't feel too bad, however, as he obviously has the talent to make it in the future as long as he keeps doing what he's been doing this season. Saturday's game against the Charlotte Hornets saw Allen post up some more impressive numbers, as the former Brooklyn Nets player hit 29 points, as well as 22 rebounds in a super close win over the North Carolina outfit. Kevin Love was the deciding player, as he made 2 free throws to snatch the win, with just over a second remaining on the clock. Charlotte had made a comeback after the Cavs had been leading 76-65, but Ed Davis, who wasn't even in the starting lineup, inexplicably interfered with a 3-point effort by Terry Rozier. It was called a technical foul, with Rozier being credited with the 3, as well as making the free throw to cut the deficit even further to 6 points. It was then a bit of a crazy back and forth before Love stepped up to make the game-winning free throw. Pretty crazy action in what was one of the best games of the season. Allen claimed that after the game, the team were, quote, all feeling like we wanted to send a message after losing to the Houston Rockets last week. What have you made of Allen's season so far? Is he right to feel overlooked? News of the Raptors' winning streak. The Toronto Raptors have been on a bit of a run recently and added to their impressive win over the Chicago Bulls last Thursday with another great performance, dispatching of the Atlanta Hawks 125-114 on Friday before overcoming the Charlotte Hornets for a 6th straight win. Part of the reason for their upturn in form is the impressive performances of Pascal Siakam, who made 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists as the Raptors dismantled the Hornets pretty easily on Monday night. Siakam, who was voted the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, was imperious throughout, and it was down to his excellent play that the Raptors found themselves with a 23-point lead at the end of the first half. Siakam was asked about the team's recent change in fortunes and his own performance after the game and said, "It has been a rough couple of years, but I feel healthy right now. My shoulder is feeling better, my body is feeling good. So just physically and mentally being in a good place." The game also signaled Charlotte's 5th consecutive defeat, and they have struggled for form this past couple of weeks, and they need their big players, LaMelo for example, to really step up now and get them out of their current predicament. What do you make of the two teams' differing fortunes as of late? Give us your thoughts in the comments below. Some James Harden trade news now. Stick around. It has been revealed recently that the Philadelphia 76ers have been in contact with the Brooklyn Nets regarding a possible trade involving 32-year-old shooting guard James Harden. But we can report today that Sean Marks, the Nets GM, flatly rebuffed their advances and told them in no uncertain terms to look elsewhere when contacted about the possibility last month. However, in recent days, news of the Sixers' interest has again resurfaced, and we do know that both groups at a boardroom level have a strong respect for each other, so this one might not be entirely dead yet. Harden's behavior off the court has suggested that he is not entirely committed to the Nets, and he could become a free agent after this season, so it could be time for the Nets to cash in. Harden famously doesn't have an agent, but it has come to light this week that he and his manager, Loreno McLeod, might have been looking for an agent to facilitate a trade away from Brooklyn before Thursday's deadline rolls around. Harden has refused to pay agents in the past, as he is smart enough to negotiate his own contracts and weigh up the pros and cons with the National Basketball Players Association, but often in these circumstances, having an agent to work out the finer details for a quick transfer can be beneficial. It will be interesting to see how the next day or two plays out and where Harden ends up come Thursday evening. What do you guys make of his potential trade? So what else can we expect as deadline day looms? Stick around to find out. As we all know, the Ben Simmons saga continues to roll on, and the Sixers will probably be looking to offload the Aussie before Thursday, as well as one or two others potentially. It is a matter of when at this point, not if, the Sixers trade Simmons, but he is on a huge contract and his behavior this season will probably be putting off a few potential suitors. The Sixers need this situation to come to a close as soon as possible and use any funds they acquire for Simmons to pump new blood into their roster in a bid to end the season in a positive way. We could also see movement out of the West as the Lakers look to deal with absences in their roster due to injuries and COVID, but fans of the franchise probably shouldn't expect any big-name trades as the Lakers already have more than a few big-name players on massive contracts. The problem is, a few of them are on the wrong side of 30, so the LA outfit will struggle to move them on. And what of Golden State? We don't think they will be adding to their roster this time around, as they already have Draymond and Steph playing close to their prime. However, many fans would like to see them add to their roster to try to turn an already great team into a championship one. What do you see happening before Thursday's deadline? And finally, details of CJ McCollum's trade. Stay where you are. News broke earlier today that the New Orleans Pelicans have been busy in the trade market, acquiring CJ McCollum from the Portland Trailblazers. Going the other way are forward Josh Hart and guards Thomas Satoransky and Nickel Alexander-Walker. The Portland outfit will also receive their New Orleans draft pick for 2022, only if the pick is between 5 and 14. Joining McCollum in Louisiana are Tony Snell and Larry Nance Jr., while Didi Louzada also goes the other way. Quite a complicated deal with a lot of moving parts here, but the Blazers had been threatening to move on McCollum for a while, and they finally pulled the trigger on the deal today. McCollum was named Most Improved Player in the league in the 2015-16 season, and last year he was even better, averaging 23.1 points. During his time with the Blazers, he played 564 regular season games, averaging 19 points, which is not bad at all. Who do you think has gotten the best deal out of this trade? Let us know your thoughts below. As always, thanks for stopping by today, and remember to join us next time for some more fun reveals. Why not do us a solid and share today's video with any NBA fan friends you have in the depths of your socials? Bye, guys.